Hello students, Mrs. Sims here. I'm sorry I'm not there today. I have a training for the next 2 days, so we'll have a video lesson today and tomorrow. So for today's lesson, we are going to talk about solving multi-step equations. We've done one-step equations, we've done two-step equations, and so now we're going to add additional steps to that, and these are called multi-step equations. You need out a piece of notebook paper to take notes. This is not in your packet, so you need a piece of notebook paper to take notes. So make sure everybody has a piece of notebook paper before we start. So this is going to be multi-step equations. So I don't think you're going to find this too difficult, because if you're good at solving one step and two step, you're just adding another step in here, and you already know how to do all of these steps. So I'm going to give you the order. The first thing you do when you've got a long equation where it feels like it has multiple things in it, the first thing you look and see if there's any place that you can distribute. So distributive property means, there's a number on the outside of parentheses, and you have to distribute that number to everything inside the parentheses. Multiply that number on the outside by everything inside. You would start by doing that, which is always our first step when we're simplifying expressions as well. And then the second step when you're simplifying expressions or solving these multi-step equations is to combine like terms, if there are any. It's always easiest to combine like terms. And then your third step is to solve. And that, could be one step, could be two step. It depends on the problem, but you always start with the distributive property, then combine like terms, and then you solve the equation. So for example, if we have 6 parentheses x minus 3 equals 66, look at your steps right here. First thing it says to do is distribute. So that means take the number on the outside of parentheses and multiply it by everything inside. So 6 gets multiplied by x, and 6 gets multiplied by 3. So 6 times x is 6x minus 6 times 3 is 18 equals 66. The second step is to combine like terms. There are no like terms over here. We've got variables and we've got constants, so we're just going to skip right to the third step, which is to solve. Remember, when we solve an equation, we draw a line down the equal sign, and then we're trying to isolate the variable. So the variable in this case is x. It's being multiplied by 6, and 18 is being subtracted from it. We get rid of, remember we do PEMDAS backwards, so we're going to get rid of the minus 18 first. So I'm going to start by adding 18 to both sides, and so I'm left with 6x over here and 76, 84 over here. So then 6x equals 84. To get x by itself now, they're multiplying by 6, so I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to divide by 6. And so we are left with x equals 14. We can always double check by plugging that in up here. Instead of 6 parentheses x minus 3, make it 6 parentheses 14 minus 3, and check and see if it does equal 66. Well, 14 minus 3 is 11. 6 times 11 is in fact 66. So we know that we did this right. So we know it's correct. You can always go back and check on equations. Okay, for the next one, I'm going to add a step. So that one just had distributive property and then solve. This one's going to have distributive property, combine like terms, and then solve. So let's start with negative 5 on the outside. X plus 3 plus 2x equals 53.5. So take a second, pause the video, and see if you can solve that one on your own. Okay, step 1 is to distribute. So I would distribute the negative 5 to everything inside the parentheses. So negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times 3, I know this is where some of you get stuck because of those negatives, but negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. And then we have the plus 2x equals 53.5. So step 1, distributive property, done that. Step 2 is to combine like terms. So when I look in here, I've got negative 5x and positive 2x. So I can combine those like terms. Negative 5x plus 2x is negative 3x. And then I have the minus 15 equals 53.5. So at this point, we're at a normal two-step equation. So we would draw the line down the equal sign. We're trying to get x by itself, and they are multiplying it by negative 3 and subtracting 15. So I would start by getting rid of the minus 15 by adding 15 to both sides. So we are left with negative 3x equals 68.5. To get rid of the negative 3, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3, and I'm left with x equals 22.83, and the 3 repeats. It's a little bit messy, but okay. Let's have a little bit more combining. So let's do 7 minus 3 parentheses x minus 6 plus 4x equals 33. So pause the video and see if you can distribute, combine like terms, and solve that one on your own. Okay, to start, I would use the distributive property. Now this is a negative 3 that's being multiplied by 6 and being multiplied by negative 6. So this is probably the spot, if you're going to make a mistake, this is the spot you're going to make it because you're multiplying a negative times a negative. So the 7 stays 7 because it's not part of the minus 3 yet because we have to distribute first because multiplication comes before addition and subtraction. So we've got 7 stays, but then negative 3 times x is negative 3x, and then negative 3 times negative 6 is positive 18, and then the plus 4x just stays, equals 33. Then I combine like terms, so I've got negative 3x plus 4x, which is just x, 1x basically, and then I've got 7 plus 18, which is 25. So x plus 25 equals 33. Now this is just a one step at this point. So I did the distributive property, we combined like terms, and now we are basically at a one-step equation. We're trying to get x by itself. They're adding 25. So we're going to do the inverse of that, which is subtracting 25. So we are left with x equals 8. Okay, again, I can check this. Let's plug this in. 7 minus 3 parentheses 8 minus 6 plus 4 times 8. And I want that to equal 33. I have room here. So 7 minus 24 plus 18 plus 32 hopefully equals 33. Let's check. 7 minus 24 gives us negative 17. Negative 17 plus 18 makes 1. 1 plus 32 is in fact 33. So we know we did it right because it checks out. Okay, let's try one with fractions. So let's do 8 plus 1/2 parentheses 6x plus 16 minus 5. What is that supposed to equal? Let's say equals 47. So go ahead and pause the video and solve that one. Okay, to solve this one, I would start by using the distributive property. So the 8 just stays 8, but then 1/2 times 6x, or 1/2 of 6x, is 3x, and 1/2 of 16 is 8, and then the minus 5 just stays, equals 47. So first step was distributive property. Second step is going to be combining like terms. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 minus 5 is 11, plus the 3x So 11 plus 3x needs to equal 47. Now we've got a two-step equation to solve. So draw a line down the equal sign. You're trying to get x by itself. It's being multiplied by 3. 11 is being added to it. So I'm going to do the inverse of adding 11 by subtracting 11. So I'm left with 3x equals 36. To get x by itself, they're multiplying by 3. Inverse of that is dividing by 3. So x equals 12. Pat yourself on the back if you got x equals 12. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do negative parentheses 7x plus 3 plus 18 equals negative 62. Remember, when there's a negative on the outside, you can pretend there's a 1 right here and that you're distributing negative 1. Or you can think about the opposite of everything inside these parentheses. So basically changing the sign of everything inside these parentheses. Okay, you pause the video and solve that one. Okay, to check, so basically if I think of this as a negative 1, if negative 1 gets distributed, or the opposite of everything inside the parentheses becomes negative 7x minus 3 plus 18 equals the negative 62. Then we combine like terms, just those constants can be combined. So we're left with negative 6x, negative 3 and positive 18 makes positive 15 equals negative 62. Now we're just at a two-step equation. Get rid of the plus 15 by subtracting 15. So we're left with negative 7x equals negative 62 minus 15 is negative 77. To get x by itself, divide by negative 7, divide by negative 7. X equals 11. All right, that one was definitely tricky with all the negatives. So your practice is going to be a worksheet on multi-step equations. It might not get as crazy as this with all these negatives, but it looks like this. I would like you to work on this. Please show all your work. I should see that you're distributing. I should see that you are rewriting, and then I should see that you are solving the equation by doing the inverse. I do need to see all of those steps so that I know you're doing this correctly. So you're going to get this sheet. When you're done with this one, keep it for now. I'll collect it when I return. And then there are some assignments on Big Ideas. So once you're done with this multi-step practice, go to Big Ideas Math Online, and you've got an assignment or two in there that would be good practice. Good luck. Have a great day.